to 50 likes, and we'll keep coming out with some more videos, all right? Today we're going to be working on this 2005 Nissan 350Z, and it has brembo brakes on it. I'm going to be showing you how to change the front pads and rotors on this vehicle. I already did the other side, so we just got this side to go. I thought I'd make a video for you guys and show you guys how we do it. So let's get started. I already took the lug nuts off, so once you do that, just take the wheel off. Alright, so if we get in over here, on this style of brakes, you're going to see you have two pins holding your pads. You have this is like a retainer, it's kind of like a spring loaded kind of, and you got your cotter pins. The first thing you're going to want to do, remove your cotter pins. Then you can take, what I usually do is take this this pin out right here. I'm gonna hit it, slides out, pull it out from the back. Then I release this. It takes the tension off of this, and then I put that to the floor, and then take this one out. The pads slide right up and out, and you got two bolts in the back holding the holding everything together. The caliper on, and you got to remove the two bolts to change the rotor. We're going to do all of this right now, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so like I said before, we're just going to start by removing this cotter pin first. Do not lose your cotter pins. Trust me, you don't want to lose your cotter pins. And yes, you do need to put them back in. You got to reinstall them. Sometimes these pins can be a pain. Those cotter pins, if you do lose them, you're going to want to replace them. It's not okay to run this without the cotter pins. It's unsafe. Your cotter pin comes out, or you have no cotter pin, the cotter pin's not going to come out. If you have no cotter pin, this pin slides out, and guess what? Your pads can end up coming off, and that's a life or death situation right there. You can push this this down, this plate right here. Like I said, it's spring loaded, so right now it's putting tension, making it hard to get this pin out. If you push it down, you'll be able to slide this pin right out. So that's your pin. Try to keep everything together. And this is your little plate right here. And now we can take this cotter pin out. And this pin right here slides out easy. There's no tension on it. First pin is kind of a pain because it had tension on it. For your brake pads, before you take them out, what you want to do is try to get like a flathead in here. This is a 4-piston caliper from Brembo, and these are usually the harder brakes to do, just because the more pistons, the harder it is. What you're going to want to do is try to get a flathead in there to try to compress these pistons. We're getting kind of high with our brake fluid. Alright, now our brake fluid is spilling over, so we're going to have to get something for that. Guys, you don't want brake fluid spilling all over your car. If you don't know about brake fluid, it will eat through your paint. That stuff is super bad for your paint. And just like any other oil, it will stain your garage floor, whatever you're on. So just try to keep that in mind. Try to watch it as you work in these pistons. Now, if this is your first time doing this job, it's not going to be easy. It's not my first time doing this, and as you can see, it's still not easy. We still got pistons out. These pads are really low. You just gotta work it in. Why? Because you push one side, then the other side is gonna push out. So you wanna work them in. You saw that? I don't know if you saw that, if it came up on the video. I pushed this side in, this side came back out after it was already compressed. So what I did now, I held this one since they were compressed all the way, and I just compressed these pistons on this side. Like I said, it's not easy. That's why they charge so much in the dealerships to replace these pads on the brembos. Brembos are the most expensive brake jobs out there. Okay, now we got the pads out, and as you can see, the rotor's loose, and we can't get it out. So now what we gotta do is, what size I got? This is 7/8. I got a 7/8 socket, and we got, like I said, 2 bolts back here holding the caliper. Now what we gotta do is we gotta release those bolts to get this rotor off. I broke these loose. Now I just gotta take them out. I had to cut the video to break them loose because they were really tight. I don't have my proper tools with me. They're at the shop, so I gotta use what I have. So we got it. Now, when you're trying to break these loose, if they are very tight, the way I just had these, don't be scared to kind of hit your ratchet if you have to. Do whatever you can to break them loose. Just don't be scared that you're gonna break the bolt. The only way you can damage anything is if you strip it. So whatever you do, try to keep the socket on the head of the bolt nice and firm and flat, and you should be okay. Keep these washers on. Make sure you do not lose those washers. That's one. And there's two. Alright, so now the caliper is loose. Now what's holding it is a brake line. So you don't want to, you have a little bit of flexibility in your brake lines, not a whole bunch. They are copper lines. So just try to be careful with it. You have just enough space to move it to the side and get your old rotor off. You go ahead and put the new rotor on. A lot of things with new rotors is they will usually come with like a lubricant on them. That's so that way while they're sitting in a warehouse or while they're getting shipped, they don't know how long it's going to be sitting for, so they don't rust. Rotors will rust. As you can see, these weren't even sitting that long and they'll rust. If you have rotors, you just spray water on them, go out about an hour later, you're going to see light rust forming. So imagine when they're sitting in a warehouse for weeks, possibly months. But these, some of the higher ends don't come with the with that coating on it, the oily coating. You got to make sure it doesn't have it, because if it does and you put your brake pads on it, you will damage your brake pads. So these don't have it. We're good with these. Got the new rotor on, put the caliper on, and now it's a matter of just reversing the process that you just did to take it off. So now we're just gonna put the bolts back on. See if I just got the caliper bolts on. When you tighten those, just try to go as tight as you can. Like I said, don't worry about ruining them. With a ratchet, you're not gonna break them or anything. But they do have to go as tight as you can put them. You don't want this caliper coming off while driving. These are our new brake pads. Alright, so when you get your pads, usually one is gonna have a sensor, the other one's not. Sensor is always going in the back. So just slide it in, and you have 2 holes. Try to line it up with the holes for the pins. Let's get this other pad in as well. These pins are your guides. Alright, so that's in. You're gonna, at this point, just look for the small little hole for the cotter pin, which I see, but it's in the wrong position right now. So you're just gonna twist it, check it again. Alright, we're looking good there. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and put the cotter pin in. Alright, so I don't know if you can see that, if it comes up in the camera, but we got the cotter pin in with our slide, so we're good on that. Now what I'm going to do is this retainer, I'm just going to slide this in right now, and then we're going to have to slide our other pin back in. Do that. Let's go ahead and get this done. Okay. When it starts to fight you, just get a little hammer. Remember, it's always going to be easier if you push down on this, because it's going to push towards the pin. But we're already through. Okay, see where the hole is. Gotta twist it. Good right there. Get our other cotter pin. And that's how you do brakes on a 2005 Nissan 350. So the last thing you need to do before you actually drive the car is make sure you pump the brakes. Since we compress the calipers, there's no pressure on the brakes right now. So if you start driving, you won't have a pedal. The pedal's gonna be soft, it's gonna go down to the floor, you'll hit something, and that's what's gonna stop it. So just make sure you give it a few pumps before you even turn the car on, until the pedal feels real firm, like it is now. And then after that, you're good to go. Now guys, please, if you like the video, smash that like button. If you like our channel, subscribe. Like I said, get us to 50 likes on this video. We're going to keep coming out with more videos. All right, and you guys have any questions, leave it in the comments below. We're gonna be more active on this channel, so we'll be here to answer your guys' questions if you have any questions. And yeah, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.